John Deere has long been a symbol of hardworking America, and now that spirit is coming to America's most comfortable footwear, Skechers. With rugged materials, innovative technology, and comfort features like Skechers air-cooled memory foam, because hard work deserves the easy comfort of John Deere and Skechers.
This is Kcal News Mornings.
Good morning. Today is Monday, October 13th. I'm Kalina Estrinos.
And I'm Jasmine Veal in for Chris Holmstrom. We begin with some breaking news. Look at that, a mother and son reunited. Tears, hugs, and just a roller coaster of emotions today as the 20 remaining Israeli hostages are released by Hamas.
And we do have live team coverage. Tina Patel just spoke with the Israeli consulate here. But first, we want to start with CBS News reporter Bradley Blackburn, joining us live now from New York with the latest on this historic day. Bradley?
Jasmine, Kalina, these 20 living hostages were all handed over to the Israeli military by an intermediary, the Red Cross. Immediately, they were sent for medical checks at hospitals and then to finally reunite with their loved ones. And this morning, an entire nation is ready to embrace them. This is the first glimpse of freedom for the remaining Israeli hostages, released after enduring 2 long years in captivity.
We see and video FaceTime.
In a place that has been dubbed Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, jubilant crowds came together to celebrate. President Donald Trump declared the war over before landing in Israel on day 4 of the ceasefire, there to meet with the families and to address the country's parliament.
Today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace.
The president will later chair a summit in Egypt with other world leaders to discuss next steps, including the creation of a multinational peacekeeping force in the region. After the Israeli hostage release Monday morning, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners were also released as part of the swap. Since the fighting stopped last Friday, thousands have returned to northern Gaza to find their homes in ruins. Amal Abu Rabia's entire neighborhood was flattened. She says, "I never imagined this level of destruction. There is nothing left." Dozens of trucks carrying humanitarian aid surged into Gaza Sunday, with hundreds more expected in the coming days. President Trump was the first U.S. president to speak to the Knesset since George W. Bush. There are still enormous questions about what the next phases of this agreement will look like, but for now, it is a joyful day as the last hostages are finally freed after 2 long years, guys.
We've been following this story all morning long, seeing, families reunited. We do want to talk about this, though, too. World leaders, including President Trump, will be gathering in Egypt for a peace summit. Can you explain what we can expect from this particular meeting?
Yeah, what's interesting here is the international participation. At this summit in Egypt, President Trump will be joined by leaders from Turkey, Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and more. It's being called a summit for peace. And really, the goal is to work out some of the details of this initial agreement and then look ahead to the future for some of these big issues that still have to be worked out, like what disarmament will look like, who will control Gaza politically moving forward. And interestingly, Jasmine and Kalina, 2 participants who will not be going to the summit are Hamas and Israel. President Trump did extend an invitation to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but he declined this morning. There are still deep divisions.
Well, a lot to keep up with then in that regard. Bradley, thank you. I want to take a live look right now at Hostage Square. This is in Tel Aviv. People there have been gathering all morning to welcome home the last living hostages. And their return sparked gatherings all over the world, including some right here in Los Angeles. We're going to get to Kcal News reporter Tina Patel joining us live now from Pico Robertson, where she just spoke with the Consul General of Israel. Tina.
Well, today is a Jewish holiday, so people were already planning to come here to synagogue, but the mood inside definitely changed when it was confirmed that all of the remaining hostages had been released. Take a look. There was cheering and dancing inside the synagogue when everyone heard that this day had finally come. They say it's something that they've been waiting for more than 2 years. And even though they are celebrating today, they know there's still a lot of questions about what happens next. We talked to the Consul General about that. Let's see if we can hear what he had to say.
We do believe and we do hope that finally peace is going to come to the region. And if we can contain the extremists and work with the moderate Arab states towards a regional peace in the Middle East, we are the first one to be happy about it.
And there have been numerous celebrations in Israel today. In Tel Aviv, crowds gathering in the streets, waving Israeli flags and cheering. The 20 surviving hostages were put in a convoy of Red Cross vehicles brought back to Israel, where they were checked by doctors, then reunited with family. We're told the remains of 26 others who were killed in captivity will be returned soon. Now, as we come back out here live, we asked the Consul General world after 2 years of fighting. He says there has been a lot of misinformation and propaganda, and he's hoping that now that the fighting is over, some correct information about how he says Israel was just trying to defend itself will get out, and he's hopeful that that will start to change the way that things are seen. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Tina, thank you. In the meantime, President Trump warning Russia to end the war in Ukraine soon, or the U.S. could send Ukraine long-range Tomahawk missiles. Trump made the comments as he flew to Israel after speaking to Ukraine's President Zelensky. Trump called Tomahawks the next step of aggression, allowing Ukraine to strike deeper into Russia. Moscow also expressed extreme concern over this announcement.
And the trade tit for tat between the U.S. and China heated up over the weekend. President Trump threatened to slap a 100% tariff on goods from China starting November 1st or sooner, citing China's new export controls. And China responded by imposing new port fees on U.S. ships. Beijing officials warn the country is not afraid of a tariff war. Yesterday, President Trump sought to calm tensions by writing on social media, saying, "Don't worry about China," and playing up his relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, the two leaders are set to meet later this month.
We want to take a live look at the nation's capital, where the government shutdown is now on day 13. And as the stalemate drags on, Americans are starting to feel this fallout. Over the weekend, Washington, D.C. attractions, including the National Zoo and the Smithsonian Museums, closed their doors because of a lack of funding. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is following through on its threat of mass federal layoffs. More than 4,000 civil service workers were fired last week, and hundreds of thousands have been furloughed. For now, the Pentagon is still paying service members with unused research funds, and the Senate is expected to vote again on spending bills tomorrow after they've already failed 7 times.
Well, today is a federal holiday in California, though it's recognized as Indigenous Peoples Day. But this year, the Trump administration has made it a point to declare it Columbus Day. Regardless of what it's called, federal courts and offices will be closed. But because the state doesn't observe either holiday, criminal and civil courts will still be open on a limited schedule. LAUSD schools will also still be open, so get ready to go to school this morning, as will metro buses and trains.
Yes, get ready to go to school this morning. All right, we have developing news right now in Norwalk. A man rushed to the hospital. This is after a shooting. Our assignment manager, Mark Lewis, at the desk for the details on this. Mark.
Yes, here's what we know so far, Kalina. A man in his 60s found shot in the stomach at a check cashing business, and the detectives involved here say that there are 3 suspects on the loose after this shooting. Okay, so this is the crime scene on Pioneer Boulevard, right at Rosecrans in Norwalk. We heard this on the scanners just before 1 this morning, sent our breaking news crew, and found this here. Pioneer shut down in both directions while LA County sheriffs from the Norwalk station investigate. They say just before 1, an employee at a check cashing business here reported a man in his 60s stumbled in with a gunshot wound to the stomach. Well, that employee called 911. Sheriffs arrived along with LA County fire paramedics. They rushed that man in his 60s away to the hospital to go into surgery. Now, the victim apparently told detectives and deputies there that there were 3 men who shot him. They were wearing all black, wearing black ski masks. Now, this car here was at the scene. Our breaking news crew saw that there was an evidence marker on the ground right by that car. We asked the deputies at the scene here how this car is involved with this shooting scene. It's unclear if that's the victim's car or the suspect's car, but it's somehow focused a part of that investigation. But the deputies down there won't tell us how that car is involved yet. If we find out, we'll let you know. Until then, that's here from the desk. Back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Let's get over to our meteorologist, Amber Lee, right now. Amber, Jasmine and I were just talking about your next weather alert for tomorrow and how people can be prepared.
We got to get ready.
All right, Amber, thank you. Let's take a look at your current traffic conditions at 6:09 in the morning. I have a new problem in pretty much the same vicinity that we had the other issue with the big rig. This one is in Diamond Bar, 60 west of the southbound 57. The left lane is blocked off because of a crash involving a big rig. Westbound traffic on the 60 from Ramona to the 57 will take you about 17 minutes to get through. In Pomona on the 71 north at Rio Rancho Road, another crash involving a big rig. 2 left lanes are blocked off here. That is a 10-minute ride from the 60 to Rio Rancho. If you want to avoid the 60 westbound traffic, take the 10 west. It looks pretty good heading over to the 57. The 210 has some traffic, but it's still an option if you'd like. And that 71, again, is just really jam-packed. I do have delays on that 91 following an earlier issue. Also delays on the 15 Cajon Pass. I will take you there in just a bit.
All right, the time right now is 6:10. People watched in horror as his helicopter crashed over the weekend in Huntington